All right, welcome back to Fleccas Talks, a podcast, episode 194. Today on the show, the DNC has started, and they're providing free abortions and vasectomies to people. We'll also tell you why we think Kamala is constantly drunk. Then, are illegals planning to vote in the 2024 election? Hint, yes, and we may have found the loophole they're planning on using. Then, Monkeypox is revving back up. Must have been a busy summer for the homosexuals. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, we have a "Come on, OG, aren't you too old for this?" section that you're not going to want to miss. All this and more, it's Fleccas Talks, the podcast, episode 194, ranked the best new podcast of all times.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleccas Talks, the podcast featuring Richard Grab.
All right, one for one on the intro, as always. Guys, have you heard the flavored air category is quickly becoming a leading alternative to vaping and smoking? It's a movement towards better habits led by today's sponsor, Fume. Fume is perfect for when you're out and tempted to do one of your bad habits. Maybe you want to bum a bad habit off of a friend outside. We've all been there. But what if I told you there's a better alternative that can help you kick your bad habit, that's enjoyable, and you can take it with you? That's Fume. Fume draws flavor to your mouth. It's not nicotine or addictive. It's not a vapor, so you can do it anywhere, and it requires no batteries. My favorite flavor is crisp mint. It's very refreshing. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you can be their next success story. Break your bad habits today. For a limited time, use my code Fleccas to get a free gift when you order the Journey Pack. Head to tryfume.com, that's TRYFUM.com today and use code Fleccas for that free gift when you order. Thank you to Fume for sponsoring. Now let's get into housekeeping. All right, thank you to Fume for sponsoring.
Thank you, Fume.
It's very important to get rid of your bad habits, guys. Fume helps. All right, we have a lot to get to. It's a Tuesday show.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of politics, a lot of news, a great housekeeping, cringe and urban, uplifting is uplifting, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys know. So let's start the show off with something a little uplifting. Remember Harley-Davidson went woke? They're doing DEI and all the gender inclusivity stuff from a corporate top-down level.
A lot of gay stuff, yeah.
A lot of gay stuff for Harley-Davidson, the American motorcycle company.
Yeah, pack groups of 55-year-old men, straight white men, ride them. They're doing a lot of gay stuff.
Yeah, so we actually have some good news. Robbie Starbuck has an update to his original story. Apparently, they're not doing the gay stuff anymore.
Yeah, Harley-Davidson just issued this statement where they promise no more DEI functions, no more supplier diversity spend goals. That's spending your money on gay business owners. Mm-hmm. They'll no longer participate in HRC scoring, which is like a gay scorecard, basically. Sponsorship activities are changing and will focus exclusively on motorcycling, first responders, active military, and veterans. They're core customers.
There you go.
No more woke training with socially motivated messaging. Blah, blah, blah. And they just released this big letter about it. We're not going to read it, but it's very nice to see the dubs are stacking up, and Robbie Starbuck is kind of leading a fight. He did it against Harley, against Tractor Supply Co.
John Deere,
I believe. And so if you guys work at like what should be a based company and then they're getting a little out of line, they're more likely to get back in line if they get exposed or a lot of negative PR about it. So you can report that to us. Mm-hmm. We can funnel that message along to Robbie Starbuck, and he'll make a long, scathing video on it. So
yeah, because a lot of companies can do the DEI stuff, and it doesn't really matter. Like, they just...
Yeah, Starbucks is going to get away with it, guys.
Yeah, Starbucks will get away with it, Planned Parenthood, like all the obvious ones. But Harley-Davidson, that they don't want the Bud Light treatment.
That's ours.
Yeah.
So stay away.
We can let the left ones go left, but when a right one goes, we got to stand in line and oppose it.
Yeah, and bullying works.
It does, exactly. So let's move on to our next clip, which is a little less uplifting. We got Trump talking to some people, explaining why we need more immigrants.
Basically, we're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to get the energy prices down almost immediately, and we're going to close the border, and we're going to get the crooked ones out, the bad ones out, and we're going to let a lot of people come in because we need more people, especially with AI coming and all of the different things, and the farmers need, everybody needs. But we're going to make sure that they're not murderers, killers, drug dealers, and the kind of people that we have largely coming in right now. Okay.
So I'm not blackpilling.
Okay.
I'm not blackpilling, but I was kind of hoping the secret agenda was going to be, we're going to deport every single person, we're going to do a moratorium on immigration, and we're going to get everything settled and back to normal. But then you hear we're going to get rid of the bad ones, and it's kind of like, what are you talking about, the bad ones? How many are we going to keep? There's already, I think there's up to like 40 to 50 million people here illegally right now. So that's not my favorite. Trump also tends to kind of go off the cuff a little bit. Like there was a speech he gave at a pro-Israel event a couple days ago where he said, I want Israel to be bigger. And it's kind of like, what are you saying that for?
You know how much that's going to take?
But sometimes, he just kind of talks and he wants the people who are listening to him to like him, and he says what they want to hear in a way, and he's kind of just going off the cuff, and maybe his policy people are like, well, we're not exactly going to do that. But seeing that was a little frustrating because I really wanted to deport everybody to be the plan.
Yeah, and hopefully with something like that, there are some R-type of guys on the inside who are like, wait, we're not really doing that, right? We need to push back when instances like that happen because a statement like that is how some tech billionaire sneaks in 1.5 million HB-N1 Indian visa workers to do all the tech shit.
Yeah.
And then you see them go on the train and they're always traveling with groups of each other. They're like 7 men. They all have backpacks and they travel together. And you go, that's weird. Nobody else travels together.
Yeah.
They're in packs.
They're in packs. That's a good point. They are in packs.
But yeah, I mean, whenever something like that, an off-the-cuff speech, I know like is this some art of the deal type shit? Like, was that a slip up? I just want to make sure it's corrected at the end because in no world does America really need AI. AI means we need more people. I thought that meant we needed less.
We need like unskilled third world laborers because AI is gonna they fix the computer. Or
I don't know.
Are they doing supply chain stuff? I don't really know.
But yeah.
And I feel like with Trump lately, everything's about appealing to the Hispanic vote, appealing to the black vote. We got to win over more moderates. What about white working class people?
The people who vote for you in the highest numbers, right?
Isn't that, maybe we need to keep them happy too, right?
Maybe it's time to deliver something to those guys. Got you elected in 2016, are going to do it again. And it's time to, fulfill some promises to them and not worry about AI or the future too much.
Yeah, we have to, exactly, appeal to the people who are going to vote for us, who have historically voted for us, before we need to go appeal to inner city black transgenders or whatever.
Yeah, and we need to be rewarded a little bit, So
it doesn't feel like anything's being focused on this group. It's all about everyone else winning over new people. It's like we can win the whole election by just getting the white working class people excited.
Yeah, and really, their voter participation is at an all-time high, right?
Yep, exactly. So speaking of the election, when it comes to the election, are illegals going to be trying to vote in the upcoming one?
That's a long-held Fleccas schizo conspiracy, and there's 2 prongs to this. Illegals actually voting, and then people using an illegal's identity and running a vote-through machine on their behalf without actually getting the consent of said illegal. So there's it's a two-way go. And this is, I guess, one of those ways.
Yes. This is Tucker explaining a loophole that Congress passed through where illegals can vote if they feel like they're an American.
And it's happening for political reasons. It's happening because the Democratic Party has ceased making the case for itself to Americans. And so in order to keep power, in fact, to expand their power and to preside over the one-party state that they desire, they're going to need a brand new electorate. And this is their electorate. Foreigners will choose your leaders. You're not allowed to choose the leaders of foreign countries, but foreigners will choose your leaders, including in this election, this 2024 presidential election. Well, how would that work? It's illegal, you say, for illegal aliens to vote in a federal election. Well, actually, it's not illegal, it turns out. Congress passed something in the U.S. code, the federal code, a line that, unbeknownst to the rest of us, makes it legal for illegal aliens to vote in federal elections if they believe they are citizens. It's a state of mind.
Ah, interesting. And we have some more context to that. Can you give it a read along with the code itself?
Yeah, the initial reporting was from this woman who is founder of True the Vote named Catherine Engelbrecht. And she found in the U.S. Code, non-citizens can vote without penalty if at the time they are voting, they believe themselves to be U.S. citizens. So that's some George Costanza shit right there. The alien, this is...
From the code itself.
Yes. Part 611C, Part 3, it says, the alien reasonably believed at the time of voting in violation of such subsection that he or she was a citizen of the United States. So it's not a crime if you believe it.
It's not a lie if you believe it. And if I was an illegal alien and I got here and I was prioritized to go to a city in America and I was given a hotel and free food and money and healthcare and the ability to work, I'd say, oh, I'm a citizen.
I thought I was American. They kept giving me stuff.
I'm not hiding from anybody. They're just letting me do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, a lot of the illegals, when they enter the country, they throw their IDs away.
Oh, yeah. There's passports left in the Rio Grande, like a Pakistani passport. Great.
Exactly. So they get refugee status, and then they also can kind of like create a ghost name. So I'm Jose Gonzalez. I'm one of like 500,000 Jose Gonzalez's. And it's a fake name, so you're almost like not even tied to any bad things you do because you're not really in the database. And then also keep in mind, there's an issue with our Social Security system where a lot of these illegals are working in factories and farms and animal agriculture businesses, and they're all using the same Social Security number, which doesn't belong to any of them. And then in our system, they've decoupled Social Security numbers from names. So all they're seeing is Social Security numbers. And when they try to get an ID or something, they look and say, oh, this person's employed. This Social Security number is employed by this real American company. That must be a real Social Security number.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, they basically have the ability to get driver's licenses, IDs, and, in my opinion, vote.
Yeah, and that's aside from the states that have actually legislated the ability of illegals to get driver's licenses, like Minnesota, like Tim Walz's state, Minnesota.
Yeah.
And then it's funny you said that passport thing. It's like a really low budget version of like the Bourne Identity. You're just about to cross over, you rip up your passport. It's like nothing. But yeah, I mean, we're going to see. And then like we said before, the two-way go, if someone voting on your behalf and then you believing that you're a legal citizen. So
exactly. And a lot of them are going to be motivated to vote because if Trump wins, they're getting deported.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, yeah, I'll take my ghost name and go pull the lever or allow my ballot to be submitted on Jose Gonzalez's behalf, because if I don't, Trump might win and then I'm out anyway.
Yeah.
So what do they have to really lose?
Yeah, I got the Social Security number of a dead 12-year-old. Might as well YOLO it, right?
Yeah.
That's another one they do. They find someone who died, like they're using a Social Security number of someone who died in 1986. It's classic.
Yeah. And then also to keep this in mind, this was, I believe, done in 2020 too.
Yeah.
So 2020 as well. That election, not 2022, but probably 2022 too. But yeah, this has been like a thing that's been done for a while, and a lot of people are not focusing on it because they're focusing on mail-in ballots or whatever. This is a big issue. All right, let's get into our politics section. The DNC has started.
Yep.
So obviously propping Kamala up as if she's smart and capable is in full swing.
Do you see the speaker list?
Yeah.
It's all the old hits. It's like a jukebox on repeat. Obama, Clinton, Biden.
Clinton as well.
Yeah. It's
Clinton too, the other one.
They really drag these corpses out and do the same old song and dance every fucking year.
Yeah, and they pretend that they have a lot of excitement about it. The number one issue for a lot of people, normal people, is the economy.
Yeah.
And obviously Kamala has not really talked about her plans with the economy or what she's up to. She hasn't been specific. Even Washington Post has called it out. Can you read that headline?
Yeah, Washington Post says the Times demands serious economic ideas. Harris supplies gimmicks.
Okay.
So that's about the New York Times saying like she just loosely alludes to price gouging and things like that, and she hasn't really put forth many tangible policies that would be tested to fix the.
So Washington Post is kind of being extra honest for some reason.
A little catty.
Yeah. And then here's another opinion piece they posted. Can you read that headline?
Opinion: when your opponent calls you communist, maybe don't propose price controls. Because that was the one thing that she did propose recently was price controls on grocery stores. Which is kind of like you're putting the Band-Aid on the bullet wound at the end, and everybody knows you have to like incentivize something. You have to incentivize growth or put a moratorium on their taxes if they can reduce their prices by XYZ. Like there's other ways to kind of carrot and the stick this thing with grocers, but just price controls at the end is kind of Soviet era shit.
Yeah, that is very much commie shit. And then I saw this tweet that said Kamala is planning on giving her policy agenda after she's elected.
Yeah, I don't know where this was sourced from, but it says breaking: congressional Democrats want Kamala Harris to wait until after the election to give her policy agenda.
That's smart. That way people can vote based on what matters, which is her being a lady and her skin is darker than other people. Mm-hmm. So I guess people could focus on that, like this next lady.
I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I'm stealing from Peter to pay Paul. And I know it's cyclical. I know, you can't blame the sitting president for everything that's wrong. You can't blame past presidents for everything that's wrong. But come on, guys, we got to do something.
Again, that was earlier this summer. I checked in with Michelle again after President Biden dropped out of the race.
How do you feel about the race now?
This is going to sound crazy, but I feel better because I don't know. I said on my last interview, like, don't really hear from Kamala, but I think I'm with Kamala. I've watched her. I think she has to get her feet wet. She was only the vice president, but I think a woman running this country, oh God, I hope.
That's why they call you Stu.
Stu, living paycheck to paycheck, Stu. And now a woman comes along and you vote.
Yep. So
that's all it took, right?
Yeah, it's a lady.
Yeah.
She's black.
The same administration that you were lampooning earlier and so mad about and still living paycheck to paycheck, but now on your Skype interview, she's a lady.
She's a lady. That lady is stupid. She doesn't think. And a lot of the base, unfortunately, doesn't think as well. We have some Kamala short clips here. So basically, the first one is her pledging her allegiance to Joe Biden and saying that they work together to do Bidenomics.
All that, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, that is called Bidenomics.
Okay, everyone claps. And then the next clip goes against that a little bit.
A loaf of bread costs 50% more today than it did before the pandemic. Ground beef is up almost 50%.
Okay.
That's Bidenomics still.
Yeah, so that's
one term. It's all within one term.
And then next is our last clip here.
So now is the time to chart a new way forward. Now is the time to chart a new way forward.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Me and Joe Biden did Bidenomics. Mm-hmm. Since Trump left office, bread and ground beef is up 50%. Mm-hmm. Vote for me.
Yeah.
Vote for me again.
Don't know how she leapt there, but she seemed to get some applause. And then when people like the fucking stupid woman 2 seconds ago are out there foot soldiering for her, I don't know. It's not that great.
Yeah. And it doesn't even fully matter because like a lot of the crowd is fish brain people. Mm-hmm. But also there's literal paid actors that are going to clap and look like they're having a great time no matter what. They found a what's it called when they a casting call.
Yeah.
A casting call for people who are Democrat supporters and want to be paid Democrat supporters.
Are you a struggling actor looking for your next big break, or perhaps looking for a reason to practice your regional Southern accents that you've been working on? Well, the DNC has a role for you. Now, they're not looking for actors. not actors, but they will pay you per diem, pay for meals and expenses, and fly you out, cover all travel as well. Now, for this non-role role, you will be an authentic Democrat supporter. Doesn't that sound lovely? Now, my favorite part about this is that they're super encouraging regional accents, regional Southern accents, because they want the authenticity to show through, because nothing
Smart.
Yeah.
Want the authenticity to show through for the person being paid to support Kamala.
Yeah, for the fake supporter who flew in and is getting a per diem and like running it up and making sure, like ordering extra items to make sure they use the per diem correctly.
Yeah.
They need to be authentic.
Yeah, so it's all fake, but that's okay. All it needs to do is appear real, so they can justify all the illegals voting and the mail-in ballots and the vote switching, whatever they're going to do, allegedly.
Yeah, it has to appear real enough for CNN to be like, yeah, that was real.
Yeah, Kamala got 90 million votes. I mean, you saw everyone at the Megan Thee Stallion concert, how that was.
You saw that guy with the Southern accent at the DNC, right? He was a farmer.
Yeah, that's who voted for her. So everything is fake. Even when they try to do these PR stunts, can you read the context before we play the clip?
Yeah, this was just like a pit stop on the way to the DNC. The Harris campaign appears to have been caught scripting 2 different Doritos handoffs to Kamala Harris at a Pennsylvania Sheetz, which is like a gas station and convenience store. The first one was her husband finding Doritos. The second handoff was Tim Walz finding another bag of Doritos that he handed to the vice president. The campaign made sure to film the second handoff, which was posted to Walz's account. So that's one you may have seen on social media. Like, oh, Tim Walz, they stopped at Sheetz. He's handing her Doritos. She loves Doritos.
They eat chips like me. They eat my pig food.
They eat the pig slop. So here's the full context of that clip. So there's Doug Emhoff. He grabs a bag of Doritos already.
Ah, Dougie, there they are. Yeah. Thank you.
She's looking for Doritos. Tim Walz sees it. And he goes, hey, you want some more?
Isn't this it? Yeah, that's the big. There you go.
That's over there. So everyone was beelining for Doritos for some reason.
That's the discussion on the bus or whatever it was when they pulled up. They're like, okay, what can we do? What makes us relatable? What do pig slop eaters eat? Doritos.
Yeah, so they're normal people.
Yep.
And then Tim Walz, another thing I've noticed for him, you know how TV shows and commercials and everything, even movies, the modern white American man is like a Homer Simpson, Peter Griffin buffoon?
Yeah.
That's kind of what Tim Walz is in this whole campaign.
That's what I said too, is the floppy movements and the stuff we've been pointing out on the last couple episodes, it's an attempt at being disarming. Like, I'm not a threat, I'm flopping around, you know? So I definitely think that's part of it. He's not threatening, he shouldn't be feared, he can't do anything to hurt you. Like, that's what the mania, the floppiness has been kind of like trying to communicate.
Like trying to do their best to appear like not a toxic masculinity man, but that's actually who is toxically masculine, is the man who's not as masculine as they should be.
Yeah, because he'll sell out his whole country with stupid shit.
Yeah, and I'm wearing basketball shorts.
Look at me.
And then Kamala's campaign is doing a good job vetting. It says breaking Kamala Harris's presidential campaign mandates up-to-date COVID-19 vaccination for those who want a job with the campaign.
Up to date. So what number are up? I don't even know what number up to date people are on.
That's a lot of boosters.
Yeah, is that 6? Because I think Fauci was talking about, remember we played that clip from Fauci and he said, I'm 6 times vaccinated and I've been infected 3 times.
I think it's like 8 to 10 at this point.
Yeah, depending on your age range.
So that'll keep James O'Keefe out.
Like, exactly.
The right-wing infiltrators that are going to blow up your campaign.
Yeah.
They can't, I mean, they can't really fake the vaccine cards.
James O'Keefe showing up with the Ray-Bans with the red blinking light, and it's like, can we see your COVID vaccination thing? He's like, starts patting his pockets.
Don't have that. And then if you
out.
apply for a job, they're also very welcoming depending on what your pronouns could ever potentially be.
Yeah, fair. This is a funny one. Who? That's just an owl.
It's the same. HU.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's uppercase and lowercase is the only difference.
Might be Chinese.
Who?
Yeah. Oh, I'm who.
Yeah, yen.
Yeah. And then Like we said in the intro, the DNC is providing free abortions and vasectomies in a mobile truck. Can you give that a read?
Yeah, free abortions and vasectomies will be available to DNC attendees. This isn't the DNC doing it, but it's Planned Parenthood from Great Rivers, which I think is in Missouri or something. But they have a very high-end bus where they'll be snipping your vas deferens and putting an ice pack on your cack and sending you out the same day. So all free vasectomy and medication abortions are filled for our mobile health clinic in Chicago. Check back soon. The vasectomies are happening Monday and Tuesday. So there's 2 days, all the days sold out. And I think this is a pay what you can experience. So if you want it, it can be free. It's kind of a pay what you can volunteer thing. So there's already a waiting list for vasectomies.
Oh, good. Imagine you're an alien that just landed on Earth for the first time at the DNC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this repurposed food truck, this is where we kill children and then men cut their balls off. Also, women can cut their balls off there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just too on the nose. It's like they made it easy for us. Wouldn't the DNC kind of be like, hey, we should probably distance ourselves from this. Let's not lead with this. We have other things we're good for, right?
Yeah.
But no, that's what they want to lead with. They lead with abortion, right?
We've come a long way from safe and rare. Remember, that's what they used to say?
Oh, yeah.
Now it's like a prideful, convenient, mobile child sacrifice mobile. Mm-hmm. And then also, when people get to their final judgment and have to face God, I feel like he's going to want to talk about the abortion ban.
Yeah.
It's like,
What was that? Where were you on August 19th?
Yeah, there was an abortion
What was
van
that appointment you had?
did. There's like a burrito truck, and you turned it into an abortion van, and you were doing it for free. What was that part?
Yeah. The workers, for sure.
And also keep in mind, Planned Parenthood, who's doing this, they also sell aborted baby parts. Just want to remind everyone that with this clip.
Like 6 months or a year ago, you told me about the proposition. And so now every time I do a D&D, I'm like, oh, there's some love. Yeah, you already know. I'm like, yeah, I have like a leg for you. I'm like, oh, shit. If other people were to hear me, they'd be like, you're evil.
So there's a little bit of a light organ harvesting.
Yeah.
Not even light.
Yeah, I was going to say, light. It's just literal organ harvesting.
Literal organ harvesting. And I'm going to maybe do a little extrapolating here.
Okay, go ahead.
If Planned Parenthood's doing that and the organ body part market is so strong, what do you think they're doing with those IVF fertilized embryos that don't get selected? You know, they make like, oh, we have 10 embryos that took and they're fertilized. We're going to put one in this couple, the wife, and then we have 9 others. I have a feeling that they're doing some sort of aftermarket organ harvesting black site operation type thing with
Some
that.
Matrix babies born in a pod, fake womb embryo experimentation shit? Is that what you're on?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Organ harvesting future thing? Yeah. Okay.
Rings true, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which takes us to our next section, the Kamala is constantly drunk section. We have a couple rumor tweets, and then we're going to show some clips to prove it.
It's a nasty, nasty rumor going around. We can't confirm it, but, you know, we're going to obviously discuss it.
That's the business, baby.
Apparently, throw in an allegedly for me.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Apparently, Kamala's aides are having trouble keeping her sober, which is why she's only doing the scheduled rallies. Every time she gets off the plane, she's apparently drunk. So that's why they are hiding her from the press.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and then someone else tweeted, breaking, multiple police officers have come forward stating that Kamala is 100% intoxicated in this clip, and she would have been charged with a DUI if she was behind the wheel of a car.
And here's the speech she gave in that situation.
Because when we think about the strength of our democracy, you know, I think that there's a duality to the nature of democracy. When it's intact, oh, it's so strong in terms of what it does to uphold and protect individual rights and freedoms.
Good for her.
Yeah, I think a dead giveaway is when, like, she's kind of pausing and then she just starts smiling, and it's almost like you're giggling to yourself, like, whoa, I'm buzzed, I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm in front of people right now.
What am I saying?
And then keep in mind also, she is a wine connoisseur. There was an article from a while ago, from 4 years ago, saying how well she knows wine.
Yeah, Kamala Harris knows her wine. She can talk about differences between California oak and French oak, says Cork Wine Bar's owner.
Yeah. And I'm assuming also she's probably doing light pill mixing in there as well.
That's what I was going to say. I think this might be a Valium. This might be a little blend, you know?
Yeah, because she has anxiety, so she needs to drink, and then you get a Xanax.
And we covered last week on the show, too, that she went to that, they were preparing for a dinner that she was nervous for, and they wanted to prepare her with 2 glasses of wines. So, like, she's a drinker.
100p a drink.
And it's just a matter of whether or not she's being drunk out when she has actual duties. And then also, when you are elevated from vice president, kind of a middling role, to running for president now on a short 3-month time span, and you use alcohol, do you think your alcohol use would go up a little bit? You know, oh, I'm constantly nervous. I'm in high pressure situations. She's probably drinking a little more.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense, which explains why she can't think but always looks like she's having fun and laughing and happy.
It is so good to be with everyone this evening in this hall and everyone at home. This is going to be a great week. And I want to kick us off by celebrating our incredible president, Joe Biden.
Yeah, she's a little giggly to herself.
Happy. And then I also have another thing we want to say. If you frame this in a way when you look at Kamala clips, like Kamala is drunk right now, all the clips make way more sense. So like we have an old clip from 2020 or 2021.
COVID times.
I think it is important to look at folks like Haley and Kelly and also say we're going to take note of the fact that during the pandemic, over 2 million people, 2 million women people became
So she's giggling under her mask there, and that was some vocal fry. That looked like some pills mixed with alcohol to me.
Me too.
A novice viewer.
We got her. And then according to this screenshot from Twitter of Obama, apparently Obama.
Totally unreliable Twitter post, but let's see it.
Let's hear it.
Privately, Obama expressed concern about Kamala Harris. The former president urged Democrat leaders to reconsider making Harris the leader of the party, publicly pointing to her absence from daily intelligence briefings as a concern. However, in private discussions, he expressed deeper worries about her struggles with sobriety, doubting her ability to stay sober through the election, let alone beyond it. And as we know, the Joe Biden getting forced to step down by Obama and all those people.
He's got opinions on all these people.
Biden did the last FU and just said, I'm endorsing Kamala. And so that let the Obama puppet master unable to fill in whoever he wanted. And so he was kind of forced into supporting Kamala rather than choosing to do it himself. So there's kind of, that's consistent with our thoughts on the matter, right?
Yeah. Do you think that Kamala is going to be the nominee all the way through at this point?
Yeah.
100%?
It's hard to change twice. That's my thought. I mean, I'm obviously the less schizo, the less, open to that type of stuff. But yeah, that's my thought.
Okay, cool. All right, that is the end of our DNC Kamala's Drinker section.
Getting lazy on these transitions. You had one last episode that was bad.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Let's get to our migrant section.
All right.
In the UK, you know how they're arresting all the right-wing anti-third world invader protesters?
Yeah, the Facebook posters, the mildly disgruntled men.
Yep, who are just posting online their valid opinions. Now they're saying that they're going to release criminals to make room in the jails for these right-wing protesters.
We will guarantee a prison cell. We will make sure that those people who need to be in prison will be in prison, not necessarily in the area where they live. They may be 200-300 miles away from home, but we will guarantee people a prison cell.
The numbers are so tight there. How can you make that guarantee?
They are tight, and that's why we've initiated Operation Early Dawn. So basically, the easiest way to describe it is 1 in, 1 out. So as people get released, we can then pick up people from police cells and take them to court, and we will triage that 3 times a day.
Okay,
Yeah.
So not only are you filling your country with third world non-compatible migrants, you're also releasing the most aggressive ones, the ones who were arrested. so you can replace them with people who are complaining about the third world migrant invaders.
Yeah, it's actually kind of ironic, right? Replacing them in population, and then now you're replacing actual criminals with them. So it's kind of a double FU to these people.
It's a double FU, and it also puts your country on a parabolic path to social decay, because the people who are standing up for the country, who are opposing the third world invasion, they're getting locked up. So you're losing someone who opposes it, and then they're getting swapped out when they get to jail with a third worlder who was already arrested for doing something bad. So your best guys who are opposing this invasion are getting locked away, and they're getting replaced back into society with a third worlder who already broke the law to the point where they had to go to jail.
Yeah, and this is close to like revolution type stuff. You know, if this sort of thing was happening in the 1700s or something, it would kind of be enough.
Oh yeah, it would have been enough a while ago. In bonus land, we are going to go over a bunch of the judges that have been ruling on this, and we're going to go over how they're putting away the right-wing protesters for social media posts and free speech violations. And then we're also going to show what those same judges have
allowed to happen with sex criminals.
And criminals and illegals.
And how light their sentences have been.
Exactly. So we're going to show who got let off for doing something horrible, and then who's going to jail for posting something on Facebook.
Yep.
It's going to be lit. Fleccastalks.com is the website. Please go join. It's very important. Also, use this opportunity to help us juice this post, tickle the algo. Leave a like, leave a comment, then comment again, then start yapping. Notifications need to be on. P.O. Box needs to be full. We're on our final page of housekeeping, where I get to kind of talk about what I want to talk about.
I'm looking forward to it.
So the other day, I was watching a movie. You're going to like this. And look at these options.
The Fabulous Four.
Fabulous Four with Bette Midler.
And Susan Sarandon.
It's all women, insufferable women movies. And then you have Babes, which I'm assuming is about being a slut and getting an abortion.
Probably.
And then these are the movies.
And then you have Summer Camp, which is three older ladies again. Is that, I don't know who that is, Queen Latifah or something?
Bad.
Yeah.
This is all just like the worst Kamala voting women movies. What, do you go watch that? No one watches that.
I don't know who watches that.
But you need to make it because that's what's in right now, and the cost is the success of your production company. It's like you take the same thing where all these, like Harley-Davidson, all these companies need to jump on the woke sword at their own expense. And then I finally picked a movie, and they said to me, "Are you ready?"
Yeah.
This movie's brought to you ad-free by Geico.
Whoa.
You think I'm stupid?
That doesn't make sense.
You think I'm stupid?
Yeah.
You think I don't know what that is? It's an ad right now. What do you mean ad-free by Geico?
Yeah, I get it. I actually have some, I can add to this discourse as well. I think Disney is like responsible for 40 or some super high % of total box office purchases this summer. And that's like Deadpool and Wolverine and like, you know, a Pixar movie or whatever. But the megacorps are churning out slop. And, you know, the smaller, like, who's going to make me a 2024 version of The Fugitive? You know? Who's going to make a good movie? And I don't know. It's just Disney churning out slop. So I'm not in, and Amazon Studios or whatever that was is obviously picking some bad stuff. So I'm not too optimistic on the future of movies.
These four ladies, one of them's Bette Midler and Susan Sarandon.
And they're all menopausal. And like, I don't know what they could possibly do.
And they're trying to like date old guys probably.
Yeah, it's
no
ugly.
one watches that shit. All right. The next day, I didn't want to watch a movie. Instead, I finally finished the Twink House puzzle from a few years ago. There it is.
Nice.
And that kind of made me realize, who would ever do a puzzle?
Yeah, puzzles is, I was going to make fun of you for that.
Puzzle? Oh, I spent 15 hours and now here's a picture of a horse on the beach. No one cares. You could be on your phone.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like an activity. It's like a reading a book thing or something. I don't know. Maybe it helps your brain.
I don't think so.
I'm sure there's puzzle makers out there who are doing it. So tell us in the comments why you like doing puzzles, and maybe we'll reevaluate the position.
Maybe it's a break from the horrors.
Yeah, the horrors. Maybe it's night terrors that are keeping you up. I don't know what's going on.
And then we have to wrap up this section. Also, someone made a Lego thing from our last thumbnail.
Yeah, looks like AI.
Looks like some AI Legos. Thank you. It's very cool.
Much. Appreciate it.
Also, another housekeeping announcement before we get into cringe. Our last episode was brutally age restricted.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys go watch that if you haven't seen it already. Also, at the end of the episode, we did a shout out, a Small Business America First show watching shout out for Vernon Dog Training in Tampa. And I kind of feel bad because our episode got like half the normal views. So make sure you guys go tickle their algo, Vernon Dog Training Tampa. It's linked in the description. If you need dog training, that's where you get it. Help them juice the algo. It's a 5-star business. Let's take care of the show watchers. I felt bad because we shouted them out and then
they get the worst episode.
Yeah. So we're going to make it right. And that's what we're doing right now. We're making it right. Make sure you guys go help tickle and juice their algo.
Who would have known that video of the 9 a.m. Chicago execution would trigger the age restriction for YouTube's algorithm?
All the guy with the Draco going
point blank on the ground. Whoops, that one got past us, guys.
Oops. Guess I didn't know. All right, we're on to Cringe of the Week. All right, our first clip of Cringe of the Week is this guy, I'm assuming. I don't
guess
even
you
know.
could call him that.
Some sort of humanoid is upset that people think he needs to tell them that he has AIDS.
HIV positive on my profiles. People don't want to touch you. I remember being on a date with someone. So I brought him back to my place. Was like, okay, like I need to tell you something. Like I'm HIV positive. And I remember he like looked at me. It was like I murdered him. I was like, I thought he was going to beat the shit out of me. He was like, I can't believe you wouldn't tell me.
This is why you can't have sex with gay guys.
Not that many of you were going to. But yeah, and he's talking, on my apps, on my profiles, like we covered Grindr, which shows you in feet how many gay men are this close to you, right?
And down.
Yeah.
And remember how we said in the last section, look at Kamala as if she's drunk, reframe it that way, and then all the clips like make more sense? If you reframe this clip and like when you look at the crazy gay guys, what they're up to, and if you reframe it like a demon is owner and operator of the body, you kind of go, oh, yeah, this is what a demon would do. They would be infested with AIDS and trying to give it to people and getting mad at people for trying to stop that.
Yeah, they'd be trying to hide it and not trying to bring it up. My favorite part about this is like this is clearly some queer podcast or something. And then this guy who's like a total deviant and he's cruising the apps. He's getting reps, right? This is, the type of guy who gets monkeypox. Because obviously he has AIDS. And so he's talking to these two women, right? Like they can call themselves queer or I'm they, them or whatever they want to do.
Binary.
But it's two little women who are listening to this guy explain how he's so horny that he can't even be bothered to mention that he's infected with one of the deadliest viruses. And then you're just they're going, yeah, I get that. It's like, you don't. You're two girls on the other side of like the gay guy with no governor, right? So I just thought that was fascinating. But yeah, woe is me. I have to tell the people who I'm randomly hooking up with that I'm HIV positive.
Exactly. The guy is clearly self-obsessed, and it's all about him, and he makes everyone participate in what seems to be a trans delusions.
Yeah.
And now he's making everyone participate in his HIV positive diagnosis as well.
And he goes on to say later in that clip, but we're not going to play it, that he's like, oh, I'm undetectable. In some places, like you don't have to disclose anymore. And it's like, just because California made the worst rule we've ever seen in our lives doesn't mean that's like normal now, right?
Yeah. And he's like, to close this clip, he also is like basically talking about standards where like he has high standards and like he shouldn't have to do this. But then at the same time, he has no standards because the thing he's complaining about is literally like being responsible about a virus you have.
Yeah.
So it's like he wants standards, but the standards he wants are no standards because the standards, if you add actual standards in real life, you'd have to tell people you have something.
Also, this guy got HIV in the era when it's easiest and there's PrEP all around. And so it's the era where it's not hard to keep it from yourself, right?
That's a good point.
So he must have been engaging in some very risky shit. And we're not talking about risky business with Tom Cruise, the hit movie. We're talking about risky Grindr shit.
Opposite of that.
Yeah.
Let's get into our monkeypox guy.
Yeah, so a lot of headlines with monkeypox going around right now. It's in the wastewater in San Francisco. It's always been in the wastewater. That was kind of like a misnomer that the levels in the wastewater rose. That's it. San Francisco, you know what it is. Hey, if you're going to a gym in San Francisco and you're kind of near a gay neighborhood, make sure you're wiping down the machines and stuff. That's how, because you can get it from a non-gay way too.
Yeah.
But here's a guy who's talking about how he's self-quarantined, and he's about as you'd expect.
Just going like star crazy. That's what I'm really worried about. I hate that I can't shave, growing a beard, and I hate it. But yeah, these are all the spots. I'm going to show you a little bit more. It's all over. It's literally all over my back too. So
it's tough.
Disgusting.
I don't think there's anything we can do.
Yeah.
You know, because like obviously asking the gays to stop sucking and fucking each other is not gonna.
We can't do that.
Can't do that.
Anthony Weiner or somebody in San Francisco, a politician, would be like, "Hold on, you cannot discriminate against us."
So it's gonna spread, and then what is it gonna be? Lockdowns? Maybe they should do like a 3-month lockdown from now until like mid-November.
That sounds good. Any side effects to that? Any cause or causation?
There, unfortunately, the election is during that time.
Oh.
So we can just do the mail-in ballots we did last time, and then we can get it all figured out, and then after, hopefully, everything goes away.
Sounds good. Yeah.
And then we have some stats, too, when it comes to monkeypox and who's affected.
Yeah, this was selected epidemiological metrics from enhanced surveillance questionnaires in confirmed monkeypox cases in England as of 6 July 2022. So this is old data, but it doesn't matter because we're only extrapolating who's getting it, who's spreading it, what sort of things are happening. So gay, bisexual, or men who have sex with men, 96.2% of the monkeypox things are gay men or men who have sex with men.
And
Which that phrase is so funny to me because you could tell they had gay and bi, and they were like, let's just fucking cut to the chase. These words, there's too many words, and people might say, well, I'm a non-binary, they, them. It's like, are you a man who has sex with men or not?
And I have a feeling, too, the men who have sex with men could allude to non-consensual situations.
Ooh, disgusting. Real
It's like
greasy.
gay should be men who have sex with men, but then like where would there be a situation where a non-gay guy is having sex with a man?
Yeah, I'm in jail.
Or it could be also, other, I don't want to say animals, but dogs get monkeypox. So maybe the 96.2%, maybe the other 3.8% is human to animal transmission, if I had to guess.
Yeah, it's not called human pox.
Yeah.
There's a monkey involved.
Exactly. And then also at the bottom,
yeah,
31% had 10 plus partners in the last month.
And I would love to see more data on that, on the 30 plus, the sky high numbers. Because those
pics of the data, videos of the data.
Because those are the real monkeypox vectors, right?
Yeah. And then obviously how it's being handled is probably not going to make sense because Big Pharma is involved. And then you see this headline, new monkeypox vaccine maker seeks approval for use in teens.
Yeah, and a Danish drug maker is seeking approval for its vaccine in children aged 12 to 17 after the WHO, World Health Organization, declared the current virus surge a global public health emergency.
Yeah, so that doesn't make sense, but doesn't really need to make sense because as a lot of you guys know, when a baby is born, within the first few minutes of being on Earth and breathing air, they give the baby the hepatitis B vaccine. And you can only get hepatitis B from having sex with someone who has it or sharing dirty needles with someone who has it. That's it. And that's, a little more proof of it doesn't have to really make sense.
Yeah. And I will say that there are two distinct types of monkeypox. There's the endemic African monkeypox, and then there's the gay guys in the Western Hemisphere sucking each other monkeypox.
Mm-hmm.
So, hopefully this teen one never has to be used for the latter category because that's a crime, brother.
Yeah, I have a feeling, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get less gay. Well, not of a less gay, but let's...
Straight gay.
Yeah, let's do less gay intercourse and move into straight gay situation. Mm-hmm. There's a guy, Richard Rapway, and I have been following. He's a body language guy.
Yeah, he's a coach. He's a helper. He's a guru.
Mm-hmm. A real guru for people on how to be more alpha if they're not. And here's one of his... We have a couple examples of his body language videos.
Here I am, grabbing it like an ape and coming to business meeting. Make sure not to use underhand grip when carrying the folder. Making it all about the folder, but not about yourself. You grab the folder, approaching the business meeting in this manner.
Interesting.
How does it look?
So that's how you carry a folder.
Yeah.
If you were wondering. Now you might be wondering, what happens if I drop something?
Yeah, what happens if I'm going through the airport and I accidentally drop my luggage?
That's not very alpha. You're going to need an alpha response to a situation like that.
First, I don't lean over it. Actually use my whole body. When I'm trying to shift, I'm not putting my head there and then moving. The proper way to do it, get up, shift the whole body with your head, continue the movement. And it's pathetic if you drop some and you stop looking and acting frustrated.
Tim Walz should take notes from this guy.
I was going to say, we're about to criticize some of these things, but Tim Walz is too floppy. He needs a coach of some kind. And I don't know if this guy telling him how to do the envelope is the one. Here's the last one, him just sitting.
Brother, you have to be present with anything that you do. Simply taking a seat. If you're not paying attention, you start looking around and drop it. That's gonna take away from your first impression. Lowers your status. And people around you, not gonna take you seriously. Move with purpose. So know already where you're gonna land, where you're gonna take a seat, and make it look effortless. Like an extra.
Yeah. So creators like this that do these body language alpha hack things, it's trying to give a lot of men the ability to learn how to be an alpha.
Yeah.
So like we've seen that with the green line test, you know, where if you're next to a girl and you're leaned over, your line isn't vertical. So that means you're not an alpha. And then if the girl's line is vertical, that means that like she's the man in the relationship.
Yeah. Never lean in, even if it's your mother. You know?
Exactly.
Like
so then you get these situations where you have like these guys who aren't naturally alpha who are like, well, I'm going to stand my frame like this and I'm going to stand vertical, or I'm going to take steroids and get a lot more muscle. And it's just not really the answer, because like nothing screams alpha like hyper focusing on every little thing you do.
Yeah, did I hold holy shit, am I holding the folder right? Am I holding the folder right? And then like some guy mugs a woman behind you 30 feet away and you're like, I got the folder right.
Yeah, you got to hold the folder right. Oh, I have to make sure I drop this and pick it up in the right way. Like real niggas just move how they move. They don't really think about this shit.
Yeah, that's true. And then in no world has there ever been a situation where someone was like, whoa, I like how you sit, young man. Here's a blank check.
You fill in how much you think it's worth.
Write whatever you want. It's like, oh my God, you see how he held that folder?
Yeah.
I'm investing. No due diligence.
And then if you do these tricks and it somehow improves your life, like you're kind of inviting imposter syndrome in, because I just got that $1 billion deal that I shouldn't have got because I tricked the guy with my body language. Fuck, now I have to do this company. I have to work, I have to do this job. I don't even know if I'm qualified for it.
Now I have to 10x our revenue in the next 3 years. And all I did was talk to the body language guy. But yeah, I don't know, man. Any lessons here? There is some room. If you're Tim Walz flopping around on stage running for president, maybe you need a body language coach.
Yeah.
If you're a normal guy selling cars, or if you're a normal guy with a regular office job who has to do some sales meetings every once in a while, don't worry about this shit too much.
It's like self-improve the best you can for yourself. Like once, like for the steroid example, it's like if you're 5'10", 180 pounds, and then you take steroids and now you're 220, you were never going to be a 220 muscle man.
You weren't meant to be that.
You weren't meant to be that. So you're going to, and that's actually going to affect your life, because you're not going to produce your own natural testosterone. You can maybe become trans because your body thinks, you know, we're not making testosterone anymore. Maybe I'm a girl. It could actually mess you up. And when all you should be doing is like improving your own health and saying, okay, why is my testosterone low? How can I detoxify and eat the right foods and remove the toxins from my environment so I can be my max potential, not exceed your max potential with synthetic injections or standing and walking a certain way and then like hyper focusing on that. That's not the answer.
Yeah. Young man, I like the way you moved in this room and sat down. You can bang my wife. Yeah. What do they think is going to happen? That's my main piece right there.
Exactly. All right, let's move on to Urban Decay. We have 2 good pages of Urban. This part is the OG, you're too old for this section.
Okay.
And our first clip is a fight on a New Jersey bus between a driver and a bus rider.
Do something. I did. Do something. Do something. Sitting there spinning. See me right now. See me right now. You spit and see me right now. knock your little ass the fuck out, man. What? What? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, go down. Go down. Go down. Go down. What you want to do? What you want to do? Oh, all right. Let's do something. Driver. Oh my God. Oh, damn. Damn, Mom. Damn, Mom. I'm a motherfucking killer, nigga. You got me fucked up. Fuck wrong with you, nigga? You want smash? Damn. Nigga, kill, nigga.
You get the point. Bus driver snaps, beats him up.
And he had the people on the bus move to the back so he could do it.
And you know what? I don't know if this really fits in the you're too old for this OG section, because I think this guy was probably a little bit justified.
Of course.
After a push to a breaking point. So I don't know if that's necessarily our target for this section.
Yeah. And then also, the bus driver in this case will probably get in trouble. Because as we know, society favors criminals.
Yeah.
And then also society discourages like dads from doing dad stuff, which is usually the first line of defense before the police.
Yeah, street justice, self-defense. That wasn't really self-defense, but you know he had it coming, obviously.
Yeah.
The bus driver doesn't stop the bus, get out, and confront someone if they're just minding their own business, listening to music on their headphones, right?
Exactly. So that bus driver was kind of acting like the society's dad. And that is frowned upon because criminals are prioritized, and then that lets childish behavior accelerate while self-correcting society dads decelerate. So you kind of get like a graph that goes like this of like how much people are stopping what's going on, and then how much stuff that's going on that's bad continues.
Yeah.
It goes like that. And then there's a tweet I saw that kind of sums up this section. It says, cities should feel safe and comfortable to walk through, like walking through a college campus. That was said by like a progressive person.
Yeah, look at the picture. Just some leftist type.
And it's like, that sounds good.
Yeah.
It should be, it should be like a museum.
Yeah, everything. It should be like the pier, you know? The
Yeah.
downtown pier. Everything should be great.
But yeah, Memetic Excessive has made a good point about that tweet where he said, this person thinks they want this, but they don't want what achieving this would look like.
Yeah, you'd have to keep everybody locked up.
All
lady.
these guys get locked up. Which takes us to our next clip. This guy went to buy a car with a stolen ID, and like he assumed someone's identity.
A dead person's identity.
And look how it ends.
They say, congratulations, you got it.
Everyone's clapping. And then after, it was all staged.
There's a Rat Boy cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got you, Hunk.
They got you, Hunk. Sorry, you're too old for this, OG.
You're too old for this, OG. Exactly.
And that's the thing. This happens all the time. People come in with stolen identities to buy Hellcats and stuff, but he's a little too old for that, you know? Like, maybe you just don't have a car. You're kind of this old guy. You're too old to be going to jail for something like this, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're too old for that, OG.
Our next guy is really too old for it.
Yeah, this is a guy who's dealing with some like motorized bike gang, which I get being a little pissed at, but
but nothing even happens. Like you'd think something must have happened before this. The guy just rolls up like, "Oh, I thought you were calling me over," and then listen to what the guy says. He basically says, "I'm gonna shoot you."
Too close to my shit, blood. What's up?
Oh, my bad. I thought you were calling us over.
I'm a Pyru, baby.
My bad, bro. My bad. I thought you wanted to ask a question.
I got enough bullets in my shit for everybody.
Yeah?
You feel me? Yeah? Yeah, blood. What? Don't fuck with me, nigga.
We haven't done anything.
Don't look at me crazy, blood. Elm Street Pyru, nigga. Compton. What's up? I'm not these motherfuckers. Slow down, nigga. We all can shoot, nigga, but I'm straight with my shit, nigga. No, nigga, I ain't fuck that shit, nigga.
Bro, it's like this is 13, bro. How old are you?
I don't give a fuck.
OG,
you too old for this shit.
You too old to be threatening to shoot up everybody for nothing, OG. That's something you have to grow out of when you get to like, be 16.
What is he, 40, 45?
Probably more, yeah.
You're going to shoot the bicyclists? You're going to shoot the little bike gang because... And this is a guy who's got like a pretty cool Jeep. He's got something going on. Yeah, I'll throw that away because I'll shoot you to death on the streets of Santa Monica or wherever the hell he is. I'm a gangbanger. You're 40.
I'm willing to do it.
What are you talking about? And then someone like this, if you're living that gangbanger life, you shouldn't have made it this old.
That's true too.
So you're too old for this shit, OG.
Or you fronting.
Yeah.
Because you should be dead if you talk like this to everybody at the traffic light.
Yeah.
Someone should have shot you by now, or you should be in jail by now. All right, this next clip is some ladies who are too old for it. One lady steals one lady's chain, and then the other lady reacts by stealing something else of hers.
I told you when I saw you, I was going to get you. I told you. Y'all want your chain back? Want your chain back? Tell your people holler at me. That's your problem. Stop talking so much.
Instagram Live.
Good. I'm ready. Come put the on me. I'll be right back. Hold on. Ooh, what that is? Choke him up, girl. I'm going to tell him my middle name Amy or something.
My chain, but as I told you, an eye for an eye. Beignet. I don't know how much I should sell you for, but until your mama give me my mother chain back, you'll be with me. Matter of fact, I'm going to send him to Detroit where he'll be safe, Tokyo. So you give me my chain back and you can get your dog back.
That was a good way of dealing with it.
That is a hostage situation. But these ladies, the first thing that comes to my mind is they're 30. They're 35. Stealing chains, stealing dogs in retaliation. What happened?
I didn't even do that in high school.
I never stole anything. Like there was never a hostage swap between a dog and a chain ever in my life. And these people are doing it when they're 30 plus. And then they're posting the crimes they've committed online.
On Instagram.
So if at any point this girl... So I get it. The first one, right? She steals the chain. If you weren't too old for this, OG, you just call and say, hey, this girl stole my Amy necklace. Here's 5 pictures of me wearing it. Here she is. Here's the video I saved off her Instagram Live.
Herself.
Here's her address. Can you please go sort this out? I don't even want to press charges. I just want my chain back. And instead of that route, red-handed evidence.
I do crimes too.
She steals the dog and does a crime too and posts it. So
that's so good.
I don't think you can call a woman OG, but you're too old for this OG.
Auntie.
Yeah.
Too old for this auntie.
Yeah.
Next, our last one, another auntie. Indiana woman arrested at Applebee's after she gets caught sharing all-you-can-eat meal with another person at her table.
And that headline's a little misleading, right, guys?
It's actually helping out the criminal.
So this was a 28-year-old, and so she's just old enough to be in the you should know better OG section. An arrest report stated that the dispatcher warned of multiple females screaming at the scene when officers arrived. This is an Applebee's. The woman who had been in a screaming match with the manager was outside. The verbal altercation began when the woman and her dining group misunderstood the rules of the all-you-can-eat deal. The $15.99 offer includes endless boneless wings, riblets, double crunch shrimp, and fries. Apparently, per the arrest report, the group believed that the deal was good for an entire table, but the manager informed them it was a per-person special. That's when the manager became very unprofessional, per the group's statements to officers. In exchange, the group argued that the menu didn't clarify whether the deal was per person. However, an officer later showed the group a menu depicting the promotion's limitations.
Interesting. So she thought it was $15 and as many people as you could stuff into the table will just be eating shrimp and boneless wings and riblets for the whole night.
Come on, y'all. We got a Sprinter van. We going to get a table for 8 at Applebee's.
Sitting like this.
$15.99 and we get unlimited stuff. So, which is purposely, I think someone like this does that on purpose and tries to cause a scene to see if they can push over you and this is kind of a black privilege thing.
Yeah.
Where they think they can steamroll you and say, like, I could work over this Applebee's manager.
Exactly.
We get the whole table for $15.99.
And then in her defense, usually being black and loud and yelling at the white manager, that might get you out of it a few times.
That kind of gets you what you want sometimes.
Yeah.
At a Spirit Terminal, probably not. At this Applebee's, probably not. And so that's not even the cause of the arrest. The 28-year-old ultimately ended up in jail after the responding officer warned her about disorderly conduct. As the officer showed the woman and her group the menu that had the per-person policy, the woman gestured toward a couple leaving the restaurant. The woman admitted getting into it with a couple earlier, and the dispute picked back up. Another person in the group tried to quiet the riled-up 28-year-old, even placing their hand over her mouth. After nothing worked, the responding officers cuffed her and booked her into Porter County Jail. So this group of women go into Applebee's, cause a scene, fight with the manager, fight with other patrons just trying to enjoy their meal, and then can't even control herself in front of cops when those people walk out. So, Auntie,
you're too old for this shit.
You're too old for this shit. So,
all right, we got a speed round through the rest of Urban. No big deal. We have environmental storytelling. Is our little mini section here?
Yeah. This is just, tell me what you think you could learn from. This is like a Sherlock section. What can you learn from the clues here? Who do you think committed these acts?
Empty, 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 empty.
All the Nike ski masks is empty.
All the Nike ski masks is empty. And there is a clue. The pic of the suspect is on the box.
Yeah. So who would steal ski masks from the Nike store?
Have you ever seen a good person wearing one of those ski masks?
Not once. Not once in my life.
Someone who's
actually, I have. I'll take that back.
In Vail, maybe.
Probably not a Nike, but like mountaineering. Yeah. on the top of Mount Everest, on the top of Mount Hood, different stuff like that. That's it.
Yeah. If you got like ice like in your beard at the edges of it when you're climbing some mountain. All right, our next one, another environmental storytelling.
Yeah, this is just a tweet from a guy, and he says, "My brother lost/got his wallet stolen. He had 2 charges at the Cheesecake Factory and a gas station on MLK Jr. Boulevard. I mean, you just can't make this up."
Let me guess who?
Chan Lee. Chan Lee probably stole it.
All right.
So yeah, those are the environmental storytelling, and sometimes that tells you more about a crime, than and then obviously the Applebee's $15.99 ribs shrimp. It was bound to happen. Applebee's.
Who's trying to take advantage of this? And then remember Buffalo Wild Wings went out of business, and partially because
Red Lobster went out of business. It was mostly private equity related because they sold the land out from under it.
People were losing
yes,
money.
People love cheating the all-you-can-eat stuff and feeding their kids with it. Oh, just me for the all-you-can-eat. And then they pass off the shrimp to their kids and all that.
We kind of called that this could happen.
Yeah.
I remember talking about boneless wings specifically. All right, don't get too down. Don't get too depressed. We're moving on to Uplifting Gold.
Yeah.
All right, our first clip of Uplifting Gold. You might not believe it.
It might be shocking to a lot of you, actually.
But it's Lizzo on her weight loss journey. Here she is working out, and she lost a bunch of weight. Here she looks better here, and then even better.
Yeah.
Nice work, Lizzo. Happy for you.
Happy for you, Lizzo. And the important part was she stopped listening to the retarded people in the media who would applaud someone for being morbidly obese.
Yeah, all those people. She broke away from all those people that were saying, "You're great as you are. You're beautiful. You're perfect. You don't need to do anything.
Let's head down to Cheesecake Factory. On you, right?"
Yeah, buy the whole menu. Yeah, so she broke away from that, which is good, and she's self-improving, which is very uplifting to see.
Also, I think Lizzo got sad because people were kind of bullying her online a little bit back a couple months ago, I remember, and you channeled that into something positive, which is huge respect. And one thing I will say that pretty universally, you could be a guy who does a yo-yo video on social media. Someone will find you, hate your guts, make fun of you, right? The pretty much one thing that's universally applauded is genuine self-improvement. And a lot of that comes from weight loss or hard work or setting goals. Post a video of me 3 months ago versus me now. Everyone will be like, nice work. There's really no negatives unless you accidentally post one of those videos before and after and it's only been 2 weeks and you've only lost 4 pounds. Then you're setting up yourself to get cooked. Mm-hmm. So
you're looking for something different than the actual end goal.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, she did self-improvement even though everyone else was telling her she didn't have to.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of similar with the trans people where they're like, "Oh, I'm trans. No one wants to date me." Instead of waiting until society entirely changes so they think trans people are hot, you make some self-improvements and become not trans anymore.
Yeah.
So it's instead of waiting for society to say, "Oh, fat is great. Fat's just as good as normal," self-improvement instead.
Yeah.
All right, our next uplifting story. Anna Victoria becomes world's first lawyer with Down syndrome. That's great.
What was the law school?
And if you guys are looking for someone to be your lawyer,
yeah,
maybe that's how you bet.
Yeah, maybe. If you have an enemy who you hate and he can't afford a lawyer and you want him to lose his case, maybe hire a lawyer for him.
Or imagine you can't afford a lawyer and then one is
will be
appointed for
appointed
you, and it's her, and you're like,
she shows up. Okay, what?
We got this, right?
Yeah,
but happy for her. That's
I don't know if this is real or not.
Good perseverance.
Yeah. All right.
You passed the bar?
Not yet. That's just well, actually, yeah. First lawyer becomes first lawyer. You have to pass the bar.
So
I guess,
she
to
passed the
become a
bar,
lawyer.
and Kamala Harris failed the bar.
Oh,
I don't want to. You don't have to extrapolate too much to see
Yeah.
what I'm saying there.
Yeah.
All right. Next is this guy who's an Uber driver whose name is Pickup and Drop Off.
Pick up and drop off. You called for a ride.
He's dusted.
100% satisfaction rating. Yeah, that's a guy living his destiny. He picks up and he drops off.
Him 50 years ago, he's got no purpose in society.
I know.
Now,
taxi drivers 50 years ago?
100 years ago.
Okay, all right.
Maybe horses.
Maybe a messenger? Maybe a letter carrier?
That's a good point.
I
He
don't
always had.
But he evolved with the times. His name
did.
evolved with the times.
Next is the guy who's playing golf right next to a wedding reception, and he chips it in.
Make their way happily through it. It goes by fast. There are not enough words they can say to thank you for everything you've done for them. They want you to know as they continue to grow that they will be okay. And that they love you and cherish you for all the lessons,
that's good.
kindness, and love you had unconditionally.
And they don't yell to be respectful.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, next is the camel who eats a cactus. This is just more informative. Donut, I get it. I've seen horse eat a donut.
He doesn't even care. He doesn't give a shit.
He just chomps it up.
He likes it.
So for anyone who thought that eating a cactus was like not good, if you just put it in your mouth and chew it up, it looks like it's fine.
Yeah.
You just grind it up.
Yeah. Somebody try it, human-wise.
And then shout us out, and it's mind over matter. All right, our last clip of Uplifting Gold and the entire show, a show watcher's son is going to his first day of kindergarten, and look how prepared he is.
Okay, Boogie, how many genders are there?
2.
2. And you are?
Boy.
Can you be a girl?
No.
Good. Can girls be boys?
No.
Okay. What do you say if someone starts talking about being transgender or gay?
This is not appropriate conversation.
Good. And what do we say? Drugs are
losers and communism doesn't work.
Good job, baby. Ready for kindergarten?
That's pretty good.
For kindergarten, preparing him for everything.
This isn't an appropriate conversation.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you talking to a kid about something inappropriate. He goes to you, this isn't appropriate, and he's 5.
And you kind of step back and you're like, he's right.
Yeah.
This is totally inappropriate.
Wild. Well, another Fleccas Talks in the books. Thank
Yeah.
you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. FleccasTalks.com for bonus land. If you're watching at this point, you want an extra 30 minutes of the show, we do an extra 30 in bonus land, and our topics and clips are just as good as the main show.
There you go.
Please go join and sign up, and then remember, support Vernon Dog Training in Tampa. Do what you can to help them juice the algo. I feel bad because we got censored on our last episode, so they didn't get the full treatment.
Yeah, find out who won in golf this week. Me or Fleccas in bonus land coming up.
Yeah.
Find out who won.
We might talk about that in next week or something.
Oh, I'm going to slip it in.
All right, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you at the next one.
So now is the time